guys, I've just finished teaching my online class and I thought I'd do a quick little session on foot mobility. I taught a class on it a couple of weeks ago and I've been meaning to record this video, so I figured that now was the time. Okay, so how are you doing on foot mobility? It's super important when we're doing yoga that we have good foot mobility. It's something I've been teaching in my classes for a long time, is being able to lift the toes independently. So lifting the big toes, laying them down, lifting the other toes, leaving the big toes down and laying them down. And it's something that I experience with my clients. They find it really, really hard because our brain is a really, really long way from our feet, right? And we take our feet for granted unless we get injuries or pain or stiffness or discomfort. We just take them for granted and they give us so much. You know, they allow us to balance, they allow us to walk, jump, run, cycle, you know, all those great things that we love to do. So let's start off. This is a humdinger. A lot of my, again, it's something I practice with a lot of my clients. They either love me for it or hate me for it, okay? So first of all, take one of your feet. So I've got my right hand and my left foot, and I'm just going to thread my fingers between my toes. Okay, so interlocking the fingers with the toes. Okay, so it could be that you can't get your fingers all the way down. If you can't, then just use the fingertips. And over time, you'll be able to spread your toes so that you can get all of the fingers between all of the toes. Okay, and all we're going to do is just ease backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Okay, just gently flexing the toes backwards and forwards. Okay, when we've done that a few times, we're just gently going to start to circle the toes in one direction. And then after a couple of rotations, just gently circle the toes in the other direction. And then we'll go back to flexing just for a few. Traffic's noisy out there tonight. Sorry about that. Okay, and then we're just going to release, gently release the fingers. Give the toes a little bit of a rub. And then placing the feet next to one another. See if you can see any differences between the foot you've worked on and the foot you haven't yet worked on. So commonly what we see is a change in colour. My toes on the left are nice and pink and they're nice and spread. We've increased the circulation, okay, and we've got some movement into those toe joints and connective tissues. So you would do this with both feet. It's really great to do first thing in the morning when you first get up, or when you get into bed at night, when you first get into bed. Also, another great thing is if you have, and ladies will know about this, these toe dividers, these foam toe dividers that you use to paint your nails, to keep the toes apart when you paint your nails. If you're going to be sitting at your desk for a while, or sitting watching TV, Netflixing, or if you're going to meditate or something like that, pop your toe separators in and leave them in for the duration, like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and see if that starts to help the spread of your toes, okay? Our toes should be spread out like our fingers. The only reason they're not is that we squash them into shoes and then they become all crunched up, okay? So walking barefoot as much as you can is also really, really beneficial for foot health. So, number 2, therapy balls. Now I say therapy balls, but you could just use a normal tennis ball, okay? It doesn't have to be a special ball. These are therapy balls. You will see they have spikes on them and you can get them in all different sizes. So when I did this class a few weeks ago, I asked my clients to have a tennis ball or, you know, a pet toy or something similar, or a therapy ball if they had it handy, so that we could do some foot mobility with the therapy ball. And one of my brilliant clients didn't have a tennis ball or a therapy ball, but she found a dryer ball, right? The balls that you put in your dryer instead of using softener in the dryer. And that worked perfectly. So you can always improvise, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to disappear off screen and I'm just going to stand up. So what we do is we just drop the ball on the floor, and you can do this sitting in a chair, you can do it standing up. Literally place the weight of your foot and the weight of your leg. So we're not standing on the ball, we're just letting the foot rest with the weight of the leg on the ball, and just roll the ball all the way around the sole of the foot. Okay, and you can flex the toes, get right into the arch. And spend just a good few moments doing this all the way into the heel, all the way into the toes. Just rolling around. This is a really, really great exercise to do before you start to do any standing yoga or any standing exercise actually. Again, brilliant first thing in the morning, great last thing at night. Just rolling the foot around, okay? It's going to activate reflexology zones in your foot, which is really beneficial, but it's like foam rolling for your feet, okay? So if you foam roll any other part of your body, why are you not foam rolling your feet? Get yourself a therapy ball or a tennis ball and literally just a few minutes a day, the sole of both feet. Again, if you have them that are different sizes, the different sizes can be interesting. This one is slightly smaller, it can get right kind of in behind the toes, right into the arch. And the nice thing about the therapy balls is because they're spiky, you get a lot of feedback on the bottom of the foot. Okay. And actually when you've done that just for a few moments, you'll find again, the feet feel zingy, you feel like the circulation has improved, and the foot is all tingly underneath. You know, you've activated sensations in your feet. Okay, so that's really, really great. Foam rolling for your feet. Okay, final one for tonight. A bit of toe mobility and ankle mobility. Okay, so sitting on your heels with the toes flexed, how does that feel? Okay, and how about if we rock back into a squat? Can we do a full squat on our heels? Rocking forward, onto the heels, sitting back on the heels, rocking backwards, ankle mobility, deep squat. Okay, rocking forwards, onto the toes, sitting back on the heels, rocking back, deep squat. This is brilliant. Gets into the ankle mobility for the deep squat, gets into the toe mobility, stretches the arches of the feet. Again, just a few times a day will really start to help your foot mobility. Okay, and if you're not yet at that stage where you can get the heels all the way down in the squat, take a block, a book, anything that's the right height, that is stable on the floor, okay, put it in place, and then when you rock back on the heels, you've got that slight lift under your heels, and over time you can lower the support so that you can get the heels all the way down. So if your ankles are a bit tight and you can't quite rock back into a full flat squat, use a support. But always with the aim of eventually removing the support and getting into that deep squat. Okay, so they were just 3 quick things for foot mobility. So they're really simple, you can do them all in a few minutes a day. Give it a try and see if it helps.